Hi anyone who's tuned in, Issy et al. And Mudlight Digging Up the Thames, thank you for commenting. This is just a quick audio test, which I'll check out and I'll be back in a sec. I will be starting in less than a minute. Well, as usual, the audio doesn't sound particularly good. It's just something that seems to happen on my live streams. I'm not sure why. I'm using open broadcast software. It could be something to do with that. Anyway, I appreciate anyone tuning in. Yeah, IC et al. Have I got your name correct? I know you tuned into my live streams before. Always appreciate seeing familiar names and new names. If anyone else has joined, please drop a hello in the chat and I'll certainly acknowledge you. Now I hope everyone understands the title of this video. It is Be a Card Carrying Exempty, and Exempty short for exemption. Here in the UK it's been mentioned in the mainstream media for a while now, not something I follow particularly closely, but it's unavoidable hearing that apparently from tomorrow to go into shops, as Mudlight Digging Up the Thames has pointed out in the comments section, tomorrow's the first day of mandatory masks in enclosed public spaces. Now I kind of assumed it was shops, but no, apparently it makes sense, enclosed public spaces. Apparently from tomorrow. It did get me thinking. I was trying to think of all the local areas around me that have open air markets, because perhaps it might be time to get rid of the supermarket and go and shop at like proper market stalls. There's some around me, but they are gradually dying off up and down the country, or at least in the part of the country where I live. Whether you'd get away with not wearing a mask tomorrow, but that is really what this video is about. The United Kingdom certainly won't be the first place to be coercing members of the public to put on face coverings in shops. It's a gradual kind of grooming process where it's gone from certain areas like hospitals. I mean, some employees in certain jobs were required to wear face coverings for a couple of months now, and then they brought it onto public transport. Hi XP and Brill Billy. We'll all sound like you if we wear the muzzle like a domesticated animal. Absolutely, that's what I have referred to them before, as muzzles. XP, shops, railway stations. Yeah, like I said, railway stations is something I've been putting up with. I can't remember when that came in. It seems like forever now, but it's only been about 6 to 8 weeks, I think. I've been catching trains regularly. And I've not once put a mask on. I've frequently been asked about how I get frequently asked, challenged about where my mask is, but generally, if I say I have a medical condition that prevents me wearing one, that is usually enough. And I've had people say, okay, great, carry on, about, go and catch the train, no problem. I had one person roll their eyes at me like, oh yeah, another person just trying it on, doesn't want to comply, and she's absolutely right, doesn't want to comply. And then I had one person literally a couple of days back who said, because since then which this video is going to touch on, where to get these exemption cards floating around everywhere. I'll be sharing links, and if you're listening to this as a catch up, the links will be in the description to this video of where you can download exemption masks. And so far, I've been using exemption cards on the trains now for a couple of weeks. And they And while I don't think they're essential to catching a train without a mask, they are an added luxury. They will give people confidence, and that is why I want to look at them. As I touched on earlier, the United Kingdom is certainly not the first nation to coerce the residents of the country to start wearing a mask. We've had it in America. Actually, I saw a video of quite an appalling situation in America. A video we're going to watch shortly. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to go back to probably around the start of the whole lockdown, in inverted commas, because I don't like the word lockdown because it's a prison term. Right, where are we? I'm going to quickly flick on a video. This was a...
Tell us about the value of wearing...
Boris started without us. Okay, I'm going to mute my microphone and we'll just watch this video. This is on Oh My God's channel. I've been subscribed to him for a little while. He puts out some good videos, worth a subscription. I will leave a link to this video. He also did a longer one on the same thing. This is what Boris Johnson, a conversation he had with Dr. Jenny Harries, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, about masks. Alright, so I'm going to mute my microphone, we'll watch this and I'll be right back.
Tell us about the value of wearing face masks. You see face masks around the place. Is there any point to that?
If a healthcare professional hasn't advised you to wear a face mask, it's usually quite a bad idea. People tend to leave them on. They contaminate the face mask and then wipe it over something. So it's really not a good idea and doesn't help.
Okay, as we heard there, what was it our Jenny said? We'll just replay that.
Is there any point to that?
If a healthcare professional hasn't advised you to wear a face mask, it's usually quite a bad idea. People tend to leave them on.
It is usually quite a bad idea to wear a face mask unless a medical professional has advised it. Now, I guess the argument they're going to say now is the government's I don't even know their names. I seriously do not watch the news enough to be familiar with the names of the people who are giving out all this information, but they could now say that everyone has received across the board medical advice to wear a mask. I'll just go into the chat a minute. Pamela McKee, greetings, and I've decided not to go to the shops anymore, especially after Friday. Mask up day. You get the picture already that the bullying and shaming of people is starting. That is true. The next video we're going to look at shows something, like I said, went down in America. There's a YouTube channel, Sarah Mason. Well worth having a look. Again, I'll leave all the links to these videos in the description. I'm not too sure how. I wouldn't say I'm not going to be going in any shops again. If I do go in shops, and excuse me, and I am refused service, and yeah, okay, like Pamela says, why would you want to go into any place where they force you to put a mask on? I'm not sure. Based on my experiences on the trains, I do get the impression it might be just as easy to not have to wear one. You're going to get a lot of funny looks, maybe. Although, how do you know how these people are looking when you can't see half their face? So yeah, but this is the case. Right, the United States of America. Let's find this video. I've got it all lined up somewhere.
Breathing.
Right, the situation.
So, due to the current pandemic,
I will mute my microphone in a sec. And we'll watch it. Yeah, like I said, Sarah Mason's channel. I'm going to leave a link. I'll give her a sub. I'm going to put a link now in the live chat if anyone wants to subscribe or see or comment on this video. It's an interesting one. She is in hospital with what I assume is her husband. Let's read it. Hearing impaired at the ER, emergency room police called for not wearing a face mask. Denver Porter Hospital. Warning, cursing. I apologise. I have watched this video. The cursing isn't probably half as bad as if I was in that situation. I did ask Sarah's permission. You can see my comment there. I was thinking of using even some or all of this video on a live stream. And she very kindly says... what did she say? That's exactly why I posted it. So she's happy for us to share this video. Right, we're going to watch it. And I'll give you my thoughts on it after. See what you think.
Breathing.
Hey. So, due to the current pandemic,
You're gonna go against the executive order and not let me sit in here without a face mask? I just want to get it on recording because as soon as I leave, it says the following individuals are exempt from the requirements of this executive order. Individuals who are hearing impaired or otherwise disabled or communicating with someone who is hearing impaired or otherwise disabled, or where the ability to see the mouth is essential to communicate. That's the executive order. So if you're going to go against the executive order, just let me know. No, this is the executive order, so I just need to know if you're going to have me leave the hospital. I just want it on recording because I will sue.
So my dear, we are trying to give you a reasonable accommodation by giving you that face shield so that we can protect.
So you're not following the executive order, which exempts me from the executive order.
It exempts you from.
It exempts me from the executive order. It says the following individuals are exempt from the requirements of this executive order. Call the police. Call them. Call them. No, call the police. No, call the police. Call the police. You're going against the executive order. It just asked me to leave the hospital. Would you like me to leave the hospital? Tell me that I have to leave the hospital. Tell me that I have to leave the hospital and I'll leave. So do I have to leave the hospital?
Oh, just tell her.
We're going to contact the police.
For what? For what?
We have offered you a reasonable accommodation.
Okay, so you're contacting the police because what? Because I'm not wearing a face mask?
Yes.
Okay.
Or our face shield.
You want to go to
Okay.
a different hospital?
No, I don't. I call the police. What are you gonna do? Arrest me?
You guys are more worried about.
You're
this
gonna
than
arrest
the
me?
Fucking leave. The hole in the leg.
I mean, what do you think the police are gonna do?
Talking to me there, I wasn't sure.
Well, what are you gonna do? What are the police gonna come for?
I don't know.
To arrest me?
They do. If that was my leg, I would get it taken care of.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, so why isn't someone in here stitching his leg?
Can I ask why you don't want to wear a mask?
It's not that I don't want to wear a mask. I am deaf. I can't even hardly hear what you're saying with hearing aids. Here's my hearing aids. I am a disabled person. This isn't an argument. It says here that I am exempt from the requirements of this executive order.
Okay, well,
So
I have
call the
hearing
police
loss too
because of
from
what?
the Marine Corps,
And so what? So
Okay.
mine is so what does that have to do with
Well,
anything?
you told me yours, I told you mine.
Okay, I
I'm
didn't ask you a
I'm still asking
question.
about the mask. Why don't you want to wear one?
I'm not
I'll have
talking to
wear
you.
one.
Yep. No, I don't actually. I'm exempt from the
Because-
requirements of this executive order.
What is the I don't know what that is.
That's what you're
just saying
following.
That's why we all have
That's
to
why
wear
you're
masks.
you're mandated to wear a mask because of this executive order. This is a copy of the executive order. And so if you call the police, there's nothing that anybody can do to me because I'm exempt from the requirements of the executive order. That's what the executive order
I'm
is.
just trying to follow
According to the extending executive orders D 2020-138 pursuant to the authority vested in the governor of state of Colorado and in the particular pursuant to Article 5 Section 2 of the Colorado Constitution.
Finish down the road, but I just don't want to get further into it. That's all. My concern is you and your.
Let's just fucking leave.
You know?
And then I'm gonna sue the shit out of this hospital, by the way. Call the fucking police on me. No, I'm suing you. I'm suing you. Call the police on someone. Yeah, whatever. It's fucking bullshit.
You can go off straight that way. I can let you off that way. Keep doing that.
Don't worry. I'm calling the police because you're violating the executive order. And I'm suing you, by the way, too. Breathing.
Okay, curious stuff, and pleased to see Sarah Mason is actually joined us in the chat. And as I said earlier, thank you for uploading the video. Interesting situation there. 19th of July. I'm assuming that was your husband in the hospital with you. I should have you on Skype. You could answer more direct questions, but yeah, first thing, it's a pretty frightening situation, it looks like. You've got something in common in that I suffer hearing loss myself, and can certainly vouch for how putting masks on is my problem is more distorted hearing. I can hear, but it's distorted with a lot of ringing in my ears. Very uncomfortable, and it is exacerbated by putting on, well, certainly covering up your airwaves, because your ear, nose, mouth and throat are all connected. Now, my first thought watching that was, because it looked like the gentleman with the wound was actually wearing a face mask. So my kind of thought was, why didn't you just leave him to be treated then, and then you leave the hospital? But then, if I was in that situation, would I really want to leave a loved one in a hospital with, I mean, the thumbnail for the video looks like a pretty nasty wound on his arm, but you don't actually see the wound in the video. It's yeah, and you don't want to leave a loved one in a time like that. Sorry, bear with me. No, I think over here in the UK we're all, well, I'm certainly hoping that I'll never find myself in that situation, but I'm certainly expected to be asked. Sandy123, hello, greetings, thank you for joining us. Mudlark, I went to the local town centre today. It was just like before the scandemic. Do you mean no one was wearing a mask? Because I can walk through some cities, towns, and everywhere you look, people have got them on, and then other places, just, you know, down the road, and it's pretty much no one. I do feel sorry for people that are so afraid that they believe they should be putting masks on. Now, as we heard Sarah say in the video, she had the executive order. I'm guessing that is a legal document produced by your state. Sounds like the United States is a lot more complicated. I'm guessing this would be our equivalent. Hang on. Coronavirus safe for travel, such as travel, face coverings, when to wear one, and how to make your own. I mean, I don't know if this is anything like what you described as an executive order, but when a law includes you having to make your own of anything, it's a bit of a joke. Sarah comments that it was 3 hours after we arrived at the ER, we were in the waiting room. Like a lot of people, Sarah, I saw your video on... I saw your comment on RV Truth's video. A comment on one of his videos, and I found it from there, and what you wrote sounds pretty horrible. Yeah, was the gentleman okay in the end? And if I don't know whether it's the sort of thing you want to discuss on a YouTube comment section, I can understand why you wouldn't want to go talking about your legal situation, but I'd be interested to know whether you do plan on following it up, because at the minute I don't actually be taking things to court. Like at the moment we're being told £100 fine for not wearing a mask, but how can they enforce that when all the courts are shut and you can't get people into a room unless they expect you to do it from your home? Imagine going to court from your home. They'd just need a police officer there to take you down if found guilty. Pamela McKay, hi, thanks for joining us and leaving a comment. I saw another one which totally agree with. Sandy123, our government are complicit in murder of our elderly. Unfortunately, I cannot it's a very broad statement to make. But I look at it like this. Imagine, if you're talking about the elderly, imagine people who have lost members of their family in the last sort of couple of months and never got to give them one last hug, never got to spend another day with them because they've been convinced by the government and the mainstream media, who are, as Sandy said, complicit. It's a good word. The mainstream media are complicit in pushing all the lies of the government, and they are in cahoots, and they are trying to make, it does look like they're trying to make everyone's life miserable. People not having proper hospital treatment, being refused to even see a doctor. I've heard some horrible stories about people being ill and doctors won't come out and see them. We'll just look at Sarah's comments, though of course you can read them yourself. For over an hour my husband screaming and they wouldn't even come out and triage him. O2 levels of 77 and the nurse came in and out with the face mask on him, and the nurse came in and out and I'm guessing that is, and put the face mask on him. Again, that's so ridiculous at the moment. Normally if you find yourself being tended to by medical professionals, paramedics, the first thing they do is put an oxygen mask on you, and putting a face covering is almost undoing. It's almost, I think I've said before, the reason I'll always put an oxygen mask on a person is because it's never the wrong thing to do. I mean, a person can't generally have too much oxygen. But you can certainly not have enough, and that's what face coverings do, and I think that's disgraceful. I mean, I'm not familiar with O2 levels and whether 77 is high or low or what the number's in relation to, but it's terrible to expect them to put a mask on. Disgraceful. Pamela says, 4 months to the lady, I'm deaf with hearing aids plus glasses, I can't hear them when I can't see their mouth. That's very true. In fact, I've had a discussion with a police officer where I was telling him I needed him to remove his mask for me to understand what he was saying, and he wouldn't. He just pulled it aside a little bit. Some train crew and other places, they've got these plastic visors which look like I mean, the whole idea of a mask or a visor preventing pathogens from passing from people, the whole German pathogen thing. Many people are so ignorant of the differences and of what they actually claim the viruses that we're doing all this for, how that is formed, how it passes. People are very ignorant of all of it. the science behind it. I mean, I'm not a huge expert, but I at least know the difference between a pathogen and a bacteria or bacterium, and the fact that coverings. We'll have a look at the government's advice shortly, and we will go on to Sarah, do you have an exemption certificate? Oh, sorry, an exemption card. Whether it would have made a blind bit of difference to you in that situation, or whether it would make a blind bit of difference to anyone here in the UK from tomorrow, remains to be seen. But the government are issuing, or they have issued, or they... In fact, I'll read a text I got from my doctor the other day. Bear with me one sec. Okay, this is from the useless doctor's surgery that I am registered to. Dear Bobby Zounds, as you are aware, from Friday the 24th, it will be mandatory to wear a face mask while in shops. Bear with me. The surgery will not be providing letters to say you are exempt from wearing a face covering. Instead, please use the following link to view the government guidelines, and a link to a website where you can find exemption cards should you fit the criteria. Stay safe, Hathaway Surgery. So, probably shouldn't have said the name of the surgery at the end there, but scratch that for your memory. It's very telling when your own doctors won't see you in order to offer you something like an exemption. I mean, maybe some doctors' surgeries will, mine certainly won't, but they're giving you a freely available exemption card. Now, the reasons they have to make these cards available is because it is dangerous to wear masks. Just going to catch up the comments section. Mudlark says his 73-year-old godmother received a letter from the NHS asking to test her for the scandemic by sticking something inside her nose and throat. Yeah, it's absolutely horrific what they expect you to put up in order to have a test. I certainly wouldn't ever want to be assaulted in such a way. Sandy, my niece and neighbour, have letters asking if they want to take part in CV testing. My advice to anyone receiving a letter is rip it up and chuck it in the bin. Sarah Mason, whose video we watched earlier, don't get tested. They're touching the blood-brain barrier. Why would they need to do that if it's so contagious and sits on tables for hours and hours? A sputum swab should be sufficient. Absolutely it should. Tests seem very unreliable as well. My last live stream we did look at how they do test for COVID and what the actual procedure is. Apparently they'll take a scraping of, well, snot I'm guessing, or your DNA, and they measure it, and there's some situation where they keep doubling the numbers. There's a certain level that, yeah, it's not like a pregnancy test as such where it says this person is positive, this person is negative. They're basically just getting fed back a whole load of numbers based on a mathematical matrix that they put your samples into, and if you come back, yeah, being tested positive for anything isn't as reliable as you might hope it would be. Let's see, family not allowed to visit their elderly relatives, yet illegal immigrants are being helped here by UK Border Force. Live coverage in Dover by Active Patriot on YouTube. Thank you for the info, Sandy. Sarah Mason, I'm 100% disabled veteran. Dr. Kaufman has shown that viruses have never been isolated. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. I mean, let's have a look at a virus. Let's see the COVID virus, and this will tell you everything you need to know. COVID pathogen then. Let's see, here we are. Cartoon picture. Nice bit of CGI there. This is your COVID thingy-majig. Another drawing. Some more special effects, cartoons. Goodness knows what that is. That could potentially be a very close-up look at a sample of blood or something, and what the yellow cells are. Goodness knows, but then again, could be CGI. You see, none of these. What was it, Dr. Andrew Kaufman? I have heard of this guy. I don't know too much about his stuff though. The virus has never been isolated. Wouldn't doubt that for a second. Yeah, Iman Pudama, thank you for joining us. Regular to my live stream. Viruses and bacterium are both supposed to be pathogens. I don't think any pathogenic viruses exist at all, and certainly this one doesn't. It's a rerun of the HIV live with some differences. Yeah, well, at least I do remember vaguely when HIV was big news. And yeah, they were doing maybe TV programs about it, but they certainly weren't shutting the schools, killing off the system as it is at the moment. I do believe this is a transitional period for us all though. It is, yeah, the new regime will be going through this until the new regime is firmly established, as in everything's digital, everything's electronic, everything's got a camera in, watching our every move, etc., etc. Sarah Mason, Colorado does not require a certificate of exemption. Does not require, so is that the state you're in? So what was the executive order then, if you don't mind me asking? Is that a legal document, I'm guessing? Right, Sandy, Lidl, Audi, Tesco not challenging face masks. Asda, Morrison's will enforce it. Again, by enforce it, are we saying they're going to be charging people a £100 fine? Because I heard the same thing when they started, in inverted commas, enforcing masks on trains, that there would be a fine. But that didn't happen. Bear with me, I've just got to let an animal in the room. Oops. Right, Brill Billy, PCR and antibody tests do register false positives because they react with irrelevant germs. Yeah, okay, good information. Test can detect Iman Pudama, very convenient the way this is all accelerating in the fourth industrial revolution, agenda 2030, carbon currency, etc. Definitely. A test, Broberly says a test can detect COVID. It also states that the test can read falsely positive if the patient has one of a number of other irrelevant viruses in the body. Dr. Kaufman's a bit of a Jenny come lately as regards all that, but at least he's getting the message out. Thanks, Eamon. Right, Sarah tells us, tox postulate has been done for the coronavirus. Most are CGI, but the actual photo is of an exosome. Thank you very much. Exosome theory, that is some game we looked at on one of my previous live streams. There's a YouTube channel or channel called Odd TV, and there's a good video up on there called Germ Theory versus Exosome Theory, or Terrain Theory is another name for it. Look it up. Right, thanks Mudlark for joining us. Yeah, you're always chipping in on my live stream, much appreciated, and yeah, I look forward to future interactions. Now Mason, certificate of vaccine identification 2019. Right, Bro Billy's telling us not to trust Anthony Fauci. To be honest, that's a person I'm not hugely familiar with, being in the UK. Is he some advisor to President Trump? Right. And Sarah answered my question on the executive order. It's the letter from the governor. People can be charged with trespassing, exemption listed. Okay, so you received a letter from your governor. Okay. Right. So not exactly the same as this thing here. Government advice. Like I said, there is places you can get these masks from, but first you have to be prepared to put up with a bit of, well, we're going to get patronised in a minute at anyone that wants to look at not wearing a face mask. But I thought part of this was quite interesting. I think we get down to number 7. The reason for using face coverings, etc., etc. Coronavirus usually spreads by droplets from cough, sneezing, and speaking. These droplets can also be picked up from surfaces, blah blah blah, but as we said, the test has to be run right down your nose. We could probably find footage of someone having a COVID test, see how unpleasant it looks. Right, 5, how to wear a face covering. 6, face coverings at work. 7, buying and selling face coverings. So, you would think, if we're stopping a deadly disease from spreading, the face coverings that we buy, you would hope are of a reasonable standard. In the UK, face coverings are being sold by a large number of retailers, online, etc. Access the Office for Product and Safety Standard guidance for manufacturers selling face coverings. Due to the complexity of the different contexts in which COVID-19 can spread, and the rapidly changing and growing evidence based on the effectiveness of face masks and coverings, there are currently no UK product standards for face coverings. So they can sell you a snotty tissue and tell you it will stop COVID, and that's fine at the moment as it stands. The European Committee for Standardisation approved a workshop agreement on the 7th of June. Methods of testing and uses of community face coverings. This was created under stewardship of AFNOR, the French national organisation. Blah blah blah. Right, the new standard. The British Standard Institution will not be creating a separate standard. So basically, anyone can sell you a crappy face mask. No problem with that. So what do we do? Oh, here is a make your own face mask. How useful is that? Bear with me, another animal wants to come in the room. Yeah, make sure you clean the surfaces the face covering is touched. Great information. So here is the most patronising government document I've ever come across. It gives you information. You can download posters, and the big one for us, exemption cards. Of course, anyone that requires an exemption card must walk around with terrible clothes on or have a terrible haircut. There's no cool people would ever say they don't need a mask on, hey. Public transport. The government have said some people have a legitimate reason not to follow the face covering rules. This is called an exemption. Look at that person there. Asthma, that's a huge one. But there's an even bigger one that we'll all look at later. Perhaps the coolest person you'll see on this website that isn't wearing a mask. We'll carry on down. They've taken off one of the most, I thought it was brilliant. The picture I used in the as the thumbnail for this video showed a guy proudly wearing like a A4 badge that he'd printed off the computer, and in a way that look will probably help in some situations if you want to go into a shop without a mask. Maybe they are going to expect you to either be in a wheelchair, look slightly vacant, or have loads of freckles and greasy hair. Right, here are the reasons why a person would not. I'm sure everyone knows these, but it's worth hearing them again. You have a disability that means you cannot put a mask on. Fairly enough. So, as in you do not have any hands. You have a disability that means you cannot wear or remove a mask. There's maybe you're missing arms, or you don't have a nose or ears. Putting a face mask on would cause you severe distress. Why not? For a lot of people, yeah, they probably genuinely, emotionally couldn't tolerate having their mouth and nose covered. I certainly can't. That is a group I fall into. If you use lip reading or to communicate, the person supporting you to use public transport does not have to wear a mask, but you do. I'm guessing they're kind of suggesting. We've had a couple of people in the comments saying about their hearing loss. I suffer from it as well. And you do not have to wear a mask if you are using public transport to escape danger. So say one of their latest terror attacks has just kicked in, jump on the bus or train and you'll be fine. Right, and of course, you can take your face covering off if it is essential for you to eat, drink or take medicine. I suppose at one time or another, all of those things are essential, eating and drinking especially. I've just seen Bro Billy in the comment section saying he's going to Asda tomorrow with duct tape over my mouth. There is a really humorous video I watched of a guy going around shops in America. We'll play this at the end of this live stream. I'm not going to go on too long. But Bro Billy, good luck with getting into Asda. I will show you the masks that the government are suggesting you use. Right. If you're not sure whether you are exempt from wearing a face covering, ask for help. You could ask your doctor, not my doctor, you can't. A member of your family, your support worker, or someone else you trust. Meaning that basically the government are leaving it up to you to decide whether you are entitled to be exempt from wearing a face mask. So why shouldn't we have an exemption card? I'm going to put a link to this. Wow, this is interesting. Like a day before shops are meant to go into forcing people to wear face masks, they've taken down. Keep Safe was a free resource created by Photosyndrome. It was set up to help people with learning disabilities. It has the latest information. So the project was never funded and we have had to make the difficult decision to close it so we can focus on our usual work again. Okay, never fear though, because all those exemption cards, well, yeah, I do have the exemption card and I've put them up onto Dropbox. I think that's... do you think that's a coincidence? Then they've taken off the page where the exemption cards have been uploaded to. There must be other ones, I'm sure there is. Right. Safer travel guidance. Exemptions, here we are. Excuse me 1 second, I'm going to have to hit the cough button. Right. Just have a quick look at the chat. Eamon says it causes me distress because I can't breathe freely and also because it's nonsense. I don't know which is the main reason. I'll probably wear one in Tesco, but I'll write scam on it or something. That was something I originally thought of doing, Eamon, when it came up, but it looked pretty much like I'm going to have to bite the bullet and wear one. But I could never bring myself to put one on. You may find yourself in the same situation. Someone maybe it was you, Eamon, said that Tesco aren't actually going to enforce it. So who was? I'll have to find that comment. Hopefully, I'm just going back over the comments. Someone left a comment about which shops are going to be enforcing it. I'm pretty sure Tesco. Here we are. Sandy 123. Little Owly Tesco not challenging face masks, but Asda and Morrison will enforce it. So yeah, like I said, I don't think anyone's actually going to fine you £100 for not wearing a mask. They'd have to let you in their shop in order to do that. I do think though, now we're all putting masks on, except for except for the staff working in the shops, they don't have to wear them. I do think that means we'll now do away with the queuing. Although I was outside a M&S food hall the other day, and where people are so used to queuing up now and waiting for permission to go into the shop, the store had decided to take advantage of that and hand out the M&S Sparks card. I did tell the customers in front of me that Sparks cards were actually rubbish. Basically a good way of tracking your spending, that's all they're doing. Right, we're looking at exemptions. Sorry, and also having a quick look through the chat. Very convenient way this, yep. Yeah, there is another website, I've seen it, because, right, enforcement of face coverings on public transport. It's going to be the same for shops. You're not allowed to get on public transport if you are not wearing a face covering, unless you have a legitimate reason for not wearing one. We've just been through all that. Transport staff may tell you not to board or ask you to get off. Never happened to me. I've never used a bus, obviously. Slightly different, but apparently the bus companies do safer travel guidance. I'm sure I saw it somewhere where they were telling you where to get a card from. I'm not sure where that was gone though. It'll be around somewhere, no doubt. Oh. Right, I'm having another look in the chat. Sarah Mason, the saddest thing is seeing all those tiny children wearing face masks. Imagine what it's doing to them, not only psychologically, but oxygen deficiency to a young child's brain. Absolutely, to anyone's brain. I have seen it. I'm sure everyone's seen it, unfortunately. The rule is only 11-year-olds and upwards are supposed to, supposed to wear a mask. It's not meant to be kids under 11, but we're all seeing it. I've never actually said to a parent that I've been tempted, but I'm not actually come out and said it, because I know some parents can react quite aggressively when you tell them how they should be bringing up their kids. I understand that, but it is sad. Sandy watched a great vaccine debate today on valuetainment. Put it this way, the facts against vaccines are overwhelming. Again, I'm not surprised at all. There's a lot of horror stories about them. And anything pushed by the government or pharmaceutical companies, you have to be wary of when you know how much corruption is involved in it. Sarah says, Dr. Jennifer Daniels talks about how HIV isn't real. You should listen to her information. Great physician chased out of the US. Thank you for the information, Sarah. Eamon says he's going to get a good plague doctor mask with the beak, specs and hat if we have to play fancy dress. Right, I'll go to my YouTube channel. I will show you. This was the only time I put a mask on. You probably caught this already if you have subscribed to my channel. Where is it? Community. Here is the. I'll have to zoom out. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's like a kid's giraffe mask. I was told, I wasn't asked if you had one, it was, you have to put a mask on. So I said, well, I have got one, by which time the guy on the train walked away. And when he come back, I couldn't even wear that over my face because it irritated my eyes too much. So I had it pushed up above my head. Well, Billy, yeah, absolutely. Blame Russia. Why not? That's gone very quiet at the minute, obviously. I'm assuming Russia are playing along with this whole scam. Again, I don't follow the news closely enough to actually know what's going on over there. Yeah, Brill Billy points out wearing masks for compliance. That's called social conditioning via predictive programming. Very true. Sandy, my daughter-in-law tested face masks out yesterday on the train. She took it off for the train ride. Never was questioned on her way home. Sandy, have I worn a mask? Yeah, I wore a giraffe mask. That is it. That's the only time. But even then, that's silly. I would it was quite funny. It is a bit of a laugh, but there's a couple of routes you can take when you're challenged. You can either be stupid about it and put on a giraffe mask. You can tell them to F off, I'm not wearing one, and just see what happens. Not an approach I've taken so far, although tempting, because it is harassment. You shouldn't have to explain every time you want to go in a shop now or get on a train that you have either a disability or a medical condition. It's demeaning. So, of course, like we're saying, showing a mask is it's for me the way to go. This keeps safe of taking away their exemption card. I have got some of those. Apparently this is the only... I don't know. What have we got here? Ooh. Right, like I said, I saved these cards. This is the one that the government are putting out. I am exempt from wearing a face covering. Now, as we've pointed out, we're able to self-exempt ourselves. We certainly can't go to a doctor from it. That website recommended we ask friends, people we trust. And if anyone is unsure, here we have 3 masks. I am exempt from wearing a face covering. My child is exempt from wearing a face covering, and the person I support is exempt from wearing a face covering. There's a couple of things you could do. I will share a link to the Dropbox video where you can find all these. I think I put that one on Dropbox. This is actually Google Docs. If you've got a Google account, it might be easier. I'll put links at the bottom of this video. I need to check my Dropbox to see whether I uploaded it there. Otherwise, we will do just that. What was that one called? Bear with me, people. Right, mask exemption codes A4. Okay, I'm just going to put this one up on Dropbox, and then I'll share a link to this folder, and I will go through what you can find on here. Right. Bear with me one sec. Okay, I will put this same link in the video description. Anyone want to download? There's a whole selection of different stuff. It's easier to look at them on my Google Drive account. Actually, I have shared the folder on there as well. If you've got a Google account, I'll share that too. Exempt card. Share. Copy the link. Okay. Right, these, along with those 3 government ones, there was some other ones that I've come across. This is basically an A4 document. It's probably better off if you print off the PDF version, or you could just print off the JPEG and literally crop off any one of these and just put it on your phone, and then you have a digital exemption card. Who needs paper? Who needs card? Who needs a laminator? You can put anyone you want. I have a learning disability and an exempt. I am autistic and an exempt. I have a disability. I have a health condition. We use lip reading and are exempt, and I have breathing problems, which includes asthma. If you're not actually sure whether or not you have any of these readings, I can tell you a very serious germ that grows that's very common in all humans. It lies dormant apparently, and it's quite useful to learn the pronunciation of this one. Staphylococcus bacteria, or a staphylococcal infection. Staphylococcus. If you learn the pronunciation of that, get asked at a shop doorway why you are not wearing one. You say you're prone to staphylococcal infections. Then that's a valid reason in my book. I'll just read a little bit about staph infection. It's pretty horrific. I have heard. I did see a post on Twitter that, obviously, you can't believe everything you read on Twitter, but this person was claiming they had a staph infection from wearing a mask, and it can be an absolute killer as well. Staph infections occur when the Staphylococcus bacteria infects the body. The most common places on the body to be affected are the skin and the inside of the nose. Usually staph infections are minor, however there are occasions when the infection spreads into your bloodstream or affects your bones, joint, heart and lungs. If not treated properly, staph infections can become fatal. Antibiotics may work to relieve symptoms, while always keep in mind that prevention is the best cure. Prevention being, do not basically harvest your staph bacteria on a rag that you then press against your mouth. Right, I'm not going to go into symptoms, because I did read actually, apparently like 90% of all human beings have the staphylococcal bacterium living or dormant in their nose. A worrying thing. You wouldn't want to risk it, would you? 90% of all people. I'm not going to roll the dice on that one. I'm just going to tell them it's too, well, I'm not going to tell them it's too big a risk. I'm going to say I, like every other human being, could potentially be prone, more likely to get a staph infection than you are to catch COVID from not wearing a mask. So that's my reason. If anyone wants to download any of the exemption cards, I put a link in the description. I will warn you actually against the double-sided one. Where is that? It's basically 2 A4 pages back to back, and if you print them back to back, as it were, they should Yeah, this little message, the bearer of this card has been assessed and determined unable to wear a face covering for any amount of time, will be printed on the very back of the cards. I think you have to print along the long edge, or sorry, you have to print it on 2 pages. You have to go into your printer settings. I'm not sure how much it comes up here. I'll just try and see what happens. Print. Copies, all pages. Color, more settings. Pages per sheet, right, that's where you switch it to 2. If you wanted to print these out. Okay. If you have access to a laminator, that would be pretty useful. And if you want to save paper or card, just going back to one of the other documents that you can find. This one. If you do print this off, it might be worth just printing page 2. Because page 1 is just this mask. Sorry, poster. And again, it could be worth keeping this whole sheet on your phone as a PDF document. And when you go into shops, just bring that up on your screen. Maybe save it as your wallpaper or screen unlock. And just show people, flash people the card when you walk in. That's something I'm certainly going to have ready for tomorrow. Yeah. So yeah, print. Don't print all pages, change it just to page 2. Then you want, well, actually if you want colour or black and white. And that doesn't matter. This is actually quite a clever way the government have done it on these cards, where you can flip it right down the middle and fold it over. You can get those little plastic cases for like identity cards that you could always fold that over and slide it into. I'd recommend doing that. Right, I'm going to have a look at the chat. When face coverings get to the pub, do they drink their Prosecco Guinness through the mask, saving lives? Yeah, I wouldn't imagine. I had heard an anecdote where someone had seen a guy in a pub with a hole cut into his mask so he could put a straw through it. Sarah tells us part of the magic is that they have to tell you the truth or let you see the truth. They have people so brainwashed with MK Ultra they aren't worried about the few that know the truth. I guess I'm coming in at the end of the discussion you two have had. Oops. Right. I just realised it's getting on for 11 o'clock. I've been going for about an hour, so I am going to start winding down shortly. There's a couple more things I was going to show you. Did I see something about someone had ordered some masks? Let me see. Sandy, my exempt card has been delivered 1st of August. Laugh out loud. Okay, have you actually ordered some? Because here you've got a perfect solution. I've got 7 days of free fall. Yeah, why not just either print out some of these or save them to your phone. I think that's all you've got to do. And if you need any further links to any, like I said, go to Dropbox. It's probably the best place you can just access all those files from. Take what you need. The one we've just been looking at, the one from the government website that has now been removed, you want, what was it? Let's see, it was Exemption, where is it? It was the A4 one, I'm sure it was. That's the old, I see what I'm doing. That was the exemption letters that I created. and shared on a previous live stream. Interesting, both of those, that video got removed from YouTube for me suggesting people should carry exemption letters. I did print out some exemption letters, never once had to use them. Right, exemption cards, JPG, that is just the photo of the cards. The A4 one, again, is the one from the government that they're taking down off of the other website. Right, we were going to have a look at someone taking the COVID test, weren't we? COVID test. From what I've seen, it looked pretty darn painful. Do we want to see this?
Because
No,
not
we want to
everyone
watch
who
this
has
crappy advert
COVID-19
first. What to expect when you go for your COVID test. It isn't even an advert. Come on in.
actually shows symptoms, the more of us who get tested, the better idea the Alberta government and Alberta Health Services has on just how widespread this disease actually is. And then they can take that information and help better plan to support Alberta as it continues to reopen. The first thing you have
This isn't what we wanted. This is just propaganda. Right. What it's like getting tested. Of course, CBS News, the ASS channel, Royal Children's Hospital. How to self-swab. Performing a nasal... Come on, let's just watch this then.
COVID-19 diagnostics. Performing a nasopharyngeal or oropharyngeal swab. It is essential to follow proper infection control measures when samples are collected from patients with a suspected coronavirus infection.
Get on with it.
Among other things, the examiner should wear an N95 respirator to close their eyes. Sample collection should only be completed using sterile swabs made from artificial cotton with flexible plastic shafts. Calcium alginate swabs or swabs with wooden shafts must not be used. These materials can inactivate viral particles or inhibit PCR tests. Furthermore, wooden shafts are more likely to cause patient injury. Hold the swab like a pen between the thumb, index, and middle fingers. Maintain a loose grip that allows the swab to accommodate any resistance encountered during sample collection to reduce the risk of injury. Avoid using the following hand position during sample collection. Start by inserting the swab horizontally into the left or right nostril. Carefully advance the swab
no
while
chance.
maintaining
You gotta
a
be
course that is close
joking.
to both the septum
You would
and
have
the floor
to
of
be
the nose,
insane to allow
parallel
someone
the
to do
palate.
that to you.
Do not advance the swab
That's
upwards,
horrific.
but instead straight back until resistance is felt
My
as the swab
goodness.
reaches the posterior nasopharynx. When
I'm in
collecting samples
shock.
from an adult patient,
You've got to be
this
kidding.
corresponds to a
That's horrific. Wow. Wow. I mean, I'd seen a clip, but I didn't think it was real. I am horrified by that one. I gotta say. I've brought tears to my eyes just seeing it. Gee, what? Alright. I am gonna have to sign out shortly. It's been really good going live with you guys, and I really appreciate Sarah Mason. I'm not sure if she's still with us. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. You know, if you ever wanted to take part in a maybe have a Skype call and discuss how you're getting on, I'd be interested in doing that. I am on Skype if you are. Basically search for Bobby Zines. As far as I know, I'm the only channel up there. I'm the only username on Skype with Bobby Zines. Or you can always email me, bobbyzines@gmail.com, all lowercase. Yeah, if you ever wanted to discuss how things have been going with you, I'd be interested to hear it. Perhaps we could record it, do it live. You could answer. Of course, you're capable of doing live streams from your own YouTube channel, I'm sure. But I do wish you all the best. with, I know it's probably a situation where hopefully the person you were with is better. I can't look at that picture, it's horrible. That's awful. There was other stuff I wanted to look at, but I sort of run out of time. Ouch. Right. Let's see, where are we?
Value of wearing.
Yeah, should we hear this one last time?
Tell us about the value of wearing face masks. You see face masks around the place. Is there any point to that?
If a healthcare professional hasn't advised you to wear a face mask, it's usually quite a bad idea. People tend to leave them on. They contaminate the face mask and then wipe it over something. So it's really not a good idea and doesn't help.
Brill Billy, I've just seen your comment. Got a sinus ops 3 times, same swabs run through your face, very painful. Yeah, it's ridiculous. People having these tests, not because they're ill, but because they're being told if you want to carry on working in a job, you have to have these tests. If you want to come and visit your dear old ma or dad or loved one, you have to have these tests. If you want to catch a plane, you have to have these tests. You've got to be joking. I think that is probably worse than anything I've seen so far, that test. And I didn't even see the mouth one. Oh, it's horrific. Do you know, if I'm ever in a situation where I get to, maybe I shouldn't say it, but seeing that, if I'm ever in a situation where I get to destroy a COVID-19 test, do you know what, I'd actually be tempted. We can push it to the limit, sell some popcorn. Fear is absolutely a weapon, Brill Billy. But the way these disgusting people carry on. Right, there's a great video. I think it's definitely on 153 News. It's called The Greatest Shit Show on Earth. And when I first saw this, it was just as... Here it is. Some you guys probably saw it out. I've probably already come across this before, but I first saw it when masks were becoming mandatory on public transport, and I thought, this is going to be me in a couple of months. But this guy does make me laugh. Sandy123, yeah, Claps of Tyranny. Why not? Great chat. Bro Billy, 55 minutes like I'm going west. Test my duct tape. Right, seriously guys, thanks to everyone who has commented. Don't put a mask on, don't give in. Okay, it's so easy. Of course, you're going to get stopped and asked in shops tomorrow, where's your mask? But just tell them, be polite, be direct. I'm afraid I'm unable to wear one due to a medical condition. That's all you got to say. If they want to see proof, tell them, we'll ask them if they're a doctor, because that's the only people you'll share your medical information with. You don't have to share any information with anyone, just go into a shop. Sarah Mason, you've probably gone now. I'm not sure what time it is in your part of the world, but huge thanks for joining us. Massive thanks to everyone that's commented. Brill Billy, Sandy123. We have had Sarah Mason, of course. Iman Pudama. Who else took part? Pretty much most of them. Probably, of course, Mudluck Digging Up the Thames. He was an early commenter on this live stream. It really does make these videos a lot easier to do. Pamela McKee. Dipped in earlier. I do know what it's like on these when people put live streams on. It's not always convenient, but of course you can catch the replay. I wish everyone luck. Alright, according to my time, 52 minutes to 11, 52 minutes till supposedly we have to put a mask on to go into the shop. That isn't true. If there's anything like the trains, they won't be. I've never been fined because I always tell them I've got a legitimate condition, and who are they to question that? The government's allowed us to self-exempt ourselves, or go and ask our family if they think we should self-exempt. So why not take that? Right, okay. Yeah, thanks, bro, Billy. You stay sane as well, mate, and everyone else who listened. I will be back with you soon, and I'm gonna play out with the greatest shit show on earth. 14 minutes. Yeah, I'll probably let it play, and then that'll be the end of the stream at the end of that. So take care, everyone. I expect there was plenty of stuff I meant to cover but didn't. Bear with us one sec. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Right, is there anything crucial I didn't cover? Yeah, basically, remember how to pronounce Staphylococcus infections, because being able to pronounce that could make you sound like you know what you're talking about. Hey Sarah, thanks. I see you are still here. Yeah, and I totally agree. Stand up before it was too late. I'll be back soon. And yeah, as always, everyone, thank you for watching. This will be live for a bit. And we're now going to watch the greatest shit show on earth. Good night.
Going on now, some lady's got a clipboard off that she's got to write down the incidents. Yeah, I'm not going to continue putting up with this type of stuff. This is going to be the last time I shop at Walmart, apparently. I mean, they better call somebody that knows somebody that knew something. So it's amazing what's going on, people. What's the problem going on?
You're not supposed to pull your stuff up till they actually walk away.
Who's they?
The lady in front of you. And they're just
Trying to keep everyone social distancing.
Who's they? Who? What?
We're just trying to keep everyone social distancing, so we're asking that customers wait till the previous customers paid and left.
We all know it's a big crock of lies, all right?
We just have to follow
Protocol and the government's agenda, and basically it's a propaganda routine, you know?
I'm not going to argue.
I get it, and I'm going to continue to resist, and I'm just done shopping here after this. How much money do I owe?
$22.54.
All right. Bah. 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 Bah.
Change. 22. Your receipt.
She just touched my hand. Did you see that?
75, 67.
And if you guys are going along with it, it's going to destroy the American country. Do you not realize this? Bah! Is my food over there?
Nope, this is your card.
All right, good deal. You guys have a great day.
You too.
I will.
Okay.
Bah!
Go ahead and...
Bah! Am I trespassed?
No.
Get a document out and trespass me then.
I'm not going to trespass.
Bah! 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 See what's going on in our America? It's ridiculous. Gotta stop. Be the resistance. Be the resistance. Don't put up with it. Bah! Bah! Bah!
Hi everyone, just a very quick video which could be a real game changer of the whole coronavirus thing. Obviously there's a huge shortage of masks around the world at the moment, but my friend just showed me this and it is a great idea. You're going to think I'm stupid, but trust me, if you haven't got these in your house, maybe you don't have young kids, you can go and buy them and they're dead cheap. Take me seriously. Nappies. They've got various layers in them. They have Velcro on the back. You can wrap them around your face, they'll cover your mouth and your nose as well. And to be honest with you, the bigger the better. You can cover around there and absolutely spot on. You can breathe just about, you can talk, and this could be a real game changer in the fight against coronavirus. So just take this seriously, get out there, cover that face, cover the nose, and stay safe, everybody.
Back! Gotta go get some Benadryl today, and the sheep show continues to move forward here in the streets of America in my hometown. Welcome to the greatest shit show on earth. This is David Lowe. It looks like we got shit show security here. They've stepped it up with old ladies now. Welcome to the greatest shit show, everyone. Let's try to make like I'm just looking at my phone here. See, what do you need? The groceries? What do you need? The eggs? Yeah, I need eggs too. You gotta trick them. You gotta wake them up. Welcome to the greatest shit show on earth, everyone. Get me some Benadryl. Hopefully I don't get taken down. The stream seems clear. More propaganda and lies. I'm the killer of propaganda and lies. Welcome to the greatest shit show on earth. They say Walmart can make famous. There's still, the sheep are still wandering. The agenda moves forward, people. Ba-da-da-da. Gotta go get some Benadryl, man. These allergies are just doing me. Oh, man, they got the propaganda glass everywhere. It's a good thing to see a lot of people aren't going along with the hoax anymore, you know. The community has woken up. Oh, there's some sheep grazing in here. They're like, oh my God. We're still up. There's some big sheep moving. They're trying to hide. They're like, there's that guy with the cutout. There's that guy with the cutout. He's waking them up. Waking them up. Go get that Benadryl. Let's find that. My favorite channel is CNN. They have the best propaganda and lies. Oh, two sheepers right here. Another chappelle. They're everywhere. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. You look like a sheep. Alright, where's the Benadryl at? That'll be 86th out at every Walmart in the world. They're pushing the agenda to the pharmacy too. Gotta keep the fear going. Gotta keep the fear going. Where is the, do you guys have any sheep feed here? I'm trying to find some.
It would be back in the pet department.
Oh, what about Benadryl? You got that stuff too? Is it in this? Yeah. Alright, cool, thank you. Oh, it's pretty cheap. It's right here. Let's see, dye-free. Let's go with the dye-free, guys. Stop spreading those rumors around. Stop spreading the lies. I like that song. The sheep show. Go graze by some more freaking asshat sheep. It's ridiculous. Oh my God, there's a guy breaking the matrix in the store. He's breaking the whole matrix. The whole facade is falling down. People are waking up. The facade, there's a, I'm not going to say racist, but she's wearing a Chappelle mask. The sheep food's in the back. If you're looking for sheep food, they sell sheep food in the back. Yeah. It's cheap. It's called your brain. Sheep grain. Is that what we should call it? There's a Chappelle over here and oh, I'd like some bananas. Meh. I love Anderson Cooper, do you? He's great. Bah. Now this guy, he watches. Do you watch Anderson Cooper? I love Anderson Cooper. Wake them up. There's a grazer right there. Meh. Hey, the sheep food's in the back if you're looking for it, ma'am. There's sheep food in the back. They sell it by the dog food section. Stop, stop spreading those rumors around. Meh. Wake him up. Ha ha. Ha ha.
It doesn't last.
I like Anderson Cooper. They sell good sheep food in the back if you're looking for sheep food. I like that. That's cool. You look nice. Let's get some whole milk for my whole body, for my whole soul. Wake them up. Grazing on the lies and propaganda. Let's go find some sheep food over here. Probably should pick up some more distilled water while I'm at the cut here. I need to drink more water. I'm not grazing on enough water. Let's see, what do we want? Distilled. 80 cents. 80 cents for some non-fluoridated crap. Let's see if we can find some shit. Some more shit. Oh! Hey ma'am, I suggest you turn off your television. It's all propaganda and lies. People are waking up to the hoax. You should too. Do your research. Dang, shoelace. I should have tied it tighter. It's starting to fall apart on me. Just like this big hoax. Ma'am, it's all a hoax. Wake them up. Your television is propaganda and lies. Bah. Couple of sheep. There's sheep food in the back. Look at it. I like this shirt she's wearing. It says "God help us." I thought it said "God help us." Well, let's get out of this hoaxville. The propaganda and lies they're everywhere. They're spewing through the media. Should pick up a newspaper so I can shit on it again today. Nice sheep. Look at that sheep right there. She's got the cool. Bah! It's all a hoax. Wake them up. Go spend the fiat. I'm gonna drop a 20 fiat on this shit show here. People quit sending me instant messages. It's the asshat again, getting the Benadryl. Hi! We've accomplished the mission. We haven't been thrown out yet. You don't have to pay for the king's bags here yet. Having an extra shaky day. I think I'm going to eat a big bowl of cereal and drink a lot of milk. Like my hat, it's cool, it lights up. 708. What a bargain. I said I would never come back to Walmart, but yet I'm back. There we go. Black sheep, have you any wool? Now if I can just go find my truck. I parked it in a strategic position in case I had to run.
Thank you for shopping at Walmart.
Thank you for shopping at Hoaxmart. Aha! Let's get on out of here. Get out of this sheep show. I'm over it. I got what I needed here. Yeah. But you're a hypocrite, David. You came back to Walmart and you started waking up the sheep. It's all a hoax. Please take off your mask. You look like an idiot. Bah! 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 Freaking hoax. Meh, 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 blow me. I mean, she's wearing a face shield. This is hilarious. Let's get out of this shit show. Ma'am, you look like an idiot. You look like a sheep. Meh. Look at this sheep right here. Ha. Your employer shouldn't make you wear that. You look like an idiot. How do we get out of this shit show? I'm leaving. See ya. It's all a hoax. Quit watching your TV. You look like an idiot. And she's like hiding. I don't want to be seen with my sheep show mask on. Look, there's some more sheep right there, guys. They're freaking everywhere, man. They watch that television and the propaganda and lies. Kill the lies, everybody. Kill the lies. Get the information out there. Fight on the front lines for America. Again, this is David Lowe, and welcome to the greatest shit show on earth!